We're here with Ryan, and Ryan, we've got the Enoch guys, we've got the Levy out guys. I mean, what do you think? I think there's a bit of a divide here. What's your opinion on these guys?
I think they're well within their rights to want to have Levy out. I get why their frustration. It doesn't help that Arsenal are obviously top of the league this year, which creates more frustration for these fans. But when I was a kid, my first games were when Michael Brown was in midfield, we had Gary Doherty at the back, we were 14th, 15th in the league. We weren't playing good football, nowhere near. I think in that time to today, he's brought us a hell of a long way. And I think if we'd have won that Champions League, I know we didn't win it, but if we'd have won it that day, I don't think the hate would be as bad as it is now. And we were 90 minutes away from that. I think he's got it to a point where now he needs to sell it as a club. I do think he needs to sell it because West Ham's probably worth a quarter of this club, and it will be similar owners for both that will want both clubs. But I do think he hasn't done as bad a job as people say. I think he's saved a lot of money in good areas. We're still fifth in the league. Listen, I get why Tottenham fans are really frustrated. I'm frustrated, but I think now he's got to look at a slightly longer term project. He's tried to get managers in that could get him results, and it hasn't worked for him. And he's done I think it was the right route to go at the time. Maybe people argue he hasn't backed him. I think within reason he has backed him. He's never going to spend like what City and Chelsea have spent. It's never going to happen. But when you compare us to Man United have, for 10 years, all right, they've won trophies here and there, but for 10 years their fans have been going mad. At least we've been in and around the top four every year, and I think this summer for Daniel Levy is probably going to be the most important summer he's ever going to have. I think he has to get a manager in that can get us in the top six for the next few years so he can sell the club and we can invest. But it's not going to be easy because next year you're going to have 6 clubs that will all spend big money in the transfer market. So he has to recruit well, which is going to be difficult because why would a player want to come and join Tottenham right now over a Newcastle, for example?
Exactly. I mean, look, Newcastle have done it. Even Brighton, you're playing Brighton today. They've come from nothing. They've gotten a good manager. The players, the academy, everything. Look, what's the point of
Brighton are good at being what Brighton are, and they know what they are, Brighton, and they've been good at that, and that's why they've had steady results and they've crept up the league. They know they're not disillusioned. They know they're going to be a 6th to 9th team, and so that's how they've crept up the league. But they've always looked ahead. They've always planned ahead. They've not tried to overspend. They've done very well in the transfer market. They've plucked things out of nowhere at times that they've sold to us and they've sold to other teams. But I think it would be very difficult next year. I think this year's been hard, but I think next year will be even harder if they don't get it right this summer. But I mean, when it's a business of this size, people think at times it's knee-jerk reaction stuff. Let me tell you, Daniel Levy will plan ahead and he will know his next manager already, and he'll probably have spoken to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 managers by now. And he's probably thinking, well, what direction do I need to go in to try and sell it in the next 2 years? I think will be the decision he's probably making.
But will he sell it? That's the issue. Is you keep bringing in these new managers, and it just doesn't seem to change anything. Top managers, the players are still the same, the style of football is the same, and you're finishing 4th, 5th. What's the point of that? Brighton, arguably today, could take up your 4th spot in Europe potentially. The way they're playing, they could easily, if they get a win over you guys today.
Yeah,
they got 2 games in hand as well.
Yeah, there's 2 lots of fans at Tottenham. There's the fans that are obviously die-hard Tottenham fans and they follow him everywhere. I look at it probably a little bit more as a business, and I think he's done a very good job. He's got us a stadium behind us that's probably the best in Europe. He's got us a training ground that's definitely the best in the UK. And to sell it as a product now, I think it's in a good place to be sold. He just needs to make sure that on the pitch that they're in the top 6 to be able to get top money for it, because they won't sell it for cheap.
But this is the issue. You speak about business, and Daniel Levy is looking at this club as a business, not as a football club. Yeah. And that's what those guys over there are arguing, that football is the 5th priority of Daniel Levy, because they've got all these other things going on at Tottenham, but the least of their priorities is actual football. And essentially that's what this club should be about. That's what the stadium should be about. Yeah. To him it's a business. He just wants to see, money coming in, wherever it comes through. And right now, football doesn't seem to be that way. It's all this other stuff.
At the very beginning, it's come a hell of a long way since in the last 15 years. It has. We've missed out a couple of times on trophies, and yeah, you could say maybe mentality, but that doesn't always come from the above. That comes from the group of players on the pitch. Right now, you can see their confidence is on their knees. Maybe listen, that does come from the coach at times. Maybe Antonio Conte wasn't the right fit for this group. I think they need someone now that needs a point to prove. I would like someone like Vincent Kompany, because I think he'd be perfect for this club. What he's done at Burnley in the last 12 months is amazing. I think he needs to come here, and we need someone like that. I think if we chase another top manager now, I think it could be the same old story in 12 months where they blame the club and they walk out and get another top job and win something. So I'd rather someone come in that has a point to prove and needs to do well. Someone like Vincent Kompany, for me, would be a good appointment.
Yeah, look, you know, it's interesting. On one hand,
players would want to play for him. I think
that's the thing.
Recruitment-wise, I think he'd be a good guy to lead us forward with recruitment. Players across Europe will want to play for someone like that. And he's an exciting young manager. What he's done with Burnley is that, I know it's Burnley, but to win
incredible,
I think if you put Antonio Conte in charge of Burnley this year, I don't know if they'd have done as well. So I think he's done some feat really to do what he's done and turn that around into a playing style similar to Man City ilk in the Championship. So that's what I want here, someone that can bring it forward under a budget and get it to a point where we can sell it, and then, listen, we'll be in the big league, and that's when I think these supporters will be happier. It definitely, listen, it's always been up for sale, Tottenham. So I think it's at a point where if you come and buy it for what he wants, it will go. It will go.
Interesting. Right, okay. Well, you've heard it here first from Ryan. Ryan, you've given us good perspective. You've given us a different perspective, you know, and that's good, because we can see two sides. The fans can see two sides, you know, and some will agree with you, some will agree with the ENIC guys, you know. So, yeah, thank you for your time. Yeah, you know, there's frustrations and there's points on both sides, right? Yeah, Ryan, you've been amazing today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.